Hey babes, and welcome back to Rambles and Makeup with your bestie DohiSama. And today, we are going to be doing a Lisa Frank Dalmatian look, as well as talking about the movie Paprika. And yes, if you notice, my mouth is not moving, and that's because I'm doing a voiceover, and I will explain why. But yes, grab your makeup, grab your brushes, and meet me in the bathroom. Hello, dandelions, and welcome back. Yes, I know I've owed you some movie reviews, some anime reviews, and I'm so sorry that I've been a little bit behind schedule, but we're back. I will still step away and probably not overload so many reviews, but we're back with the reviews. I promise we're back here. I got something for you today. It is well. So I hope you've been well. How are you feeling? How is it today or tonight in the land of the living? So the movie that I have reviewed for you today, it is called Paprika. Now, Paprika was directed by this guy named Satoshi Kon. He was the one who made Perfect Blue, and I was like, oh my goodness. Well, this one was not as bad as Perfect Blue, but y'all, it was still rough. And I really just got to get into it and tell you about it. So, yes, I am doing a voiceover because I did not finish this movie yesterday when I had originally did my face paint. And so since I had kept putting off doing a review, I just decided to do a voiceover, and hopefully this way it'll be a little bit shorter and sweeter, and I can get you to where you need to be, show you the look, and get you out of here. But spend some time with me. Hello. So, Paprika. All right. I'm going to try to do a little bit of both, giving you the characters and the background. Now, it is a little bit confusing, so I really hope I make sense and I don't mess this up for anybody. But if I still need to clarify things for you, please ask in the comments and I will do my best to right my wrongs. But I am just going to give you a big synopsis of this, story, and leave some parts out, so hopefully you can go and watch it for yourself and be like, oh, she didn't tell me that. Okay, so to get into it, Paprika, when it first comes on, it's already like, what is happening here? That's kind of just how they throw you into this movie. And so Paprika, what is happening is there are these doctors who have basically worked on this machine called a DC Mini. Now, the DC Mini is basically in charge of like treating psychotherapy. That's what these doctors are working with. So their patients, they really want to understand their minds, and try to see if they can help them with whatever it is that's troubling them. And since this can help enter their minds, this DC Mini, they monitor their dreams and see, if they can get down to like the bottom of the issue. One of these doctors who I'm going to talk about, Dr. Chiba Atsuko, she is like a dream detective by night. And so the DC Mini, it ends up getting stolen, right? So now they have to find out who has taken this device, because it is a very strong device. It can manipulate you in your mind. And so of course they need this device, because they should not, have people out here running around loose with a device that can literally psych your mind. So the group of people who were in charge of making this, I'm gonna go in order. So the first one we're gonna talk about is Dr. Chiba Atsuko. Now, Dr. Chiba, she is Paprika. So like her dream state, I guess you can say, and like her dream detective form, this is gonna make sense at the end, I promise. But her dream state is Paprika, the one the movie is centered around. But Chiba is she's very different from Paprika, as Paprika is more kind of lighthearted and friendly, and she's just kind of witty. Chiba is serious, okay? Do not come at her wrong or she's gonna let you have it. She is very like hard-hitting and down to the point about her job, and she believes in what she does. Now, the one who works with her, his name is Dr. Kosaku Tokita. Now, Tokita, he is this heavy-set fellow, okay? He is a foodie. He loves to eat like a lot of us. He just likes to chow it down, okay? He is a genius. He helped, he was like one of the main ones. I think he was the one doing like the machinery, putting the machine together and, putting like all the little components into it to make it the DC Mini. Now, Tokita, he is like a kid at heart, like he's like a mad scientist, and he's just trying to live his best life. And so he was working with a guy named Kai Himuro, who was basically like the same. They were kind of like one and the same. Himuro was also kind of, a little plush. I'm assuming he liked to eat only because they said that they were alike. Okay, roll with me. Now, Himuro apparently got jealous of Tokita because of the success of DC Mini, so they kind of had a falling out. But at one point, these two were like good friends. Now, another one who helped was Shima Torataro. He is this gray-headed older gentleman doctor who is just very funny to me. He's very witty, they all care about their research and they're all dedicated to making sure the DC Mini is basically what it can be. Now, here's how it goes left. So the DC Mini ends up stolen, right? And because the DC Mini ended up stolen, these people have to find out who did it and why they did it. But in the midst of trying to find out what happened, they don't want the chairman to know about this, because if the chairman knows that the DC Mini is stolen, he will basically shut it down, and ban it. And they're already not doing so great with this because it's research, And so Dr. Shima, he is the first one who ends up sort of getting attacked. He gets attacked in his dream, in his mind, and basically he dives off the deep end. Now, the board is supposed to have a meeting about the DC Mini to figure out what to do about it. And the chairman, his name is Dr. Seijiro Inui. And so he's this older gentleman too in a wheelchair, and he's basically telling them like, you need to get it together or we're gonna have to halt this. Like, this is not gonna be able to, be a thing. So Paprika, she is trying to find out what happened to Shima. So this DC Mini, there's two other types. So the one that was stolen, and then there's two others. So there's three in this world, right, that exist. There's three of them here. And so Paprika, they have this device where they can look into the dream and like see what is happening in your mind while you're asleep, which is so trippy to me. But so they're looking at Shima's dreams and he's in this parade, right? And they don't understand like why he's in the parade. Like, it's just like a culmination of all these toys and inanimate objects that should not be moving. They're moving around like dolls and vending machines, and like they're just moving around in this large grand parade, and these China dolls, and like all these little figurines that in the normal day-to-day would not move or like have life, they're having life in this dream. And so Shima is at the top of this parade. He's sitting up high, like on a pedestal, and he's looking around, like in La La Land. And so then a female appears on him, and she's like, I need you to realize me. I need you to understand who I am. And so he goes on to say, well, who are you? And so she shifts into Paprika, and he's like, oh, Paprika. And he remembers her, and he wakes up. So she gets him out of his coma because he has jumped off the deep end and ended up here. So after this happens, they go to the chairman's office, and the chairman is basically like, you need to shut this down. So while Himura was getting better, let's take a divergent turn real quick. There is this detective whose name is Toshimi Konakawa. Now, Mr. Konakawa, okay, we love him. He don't get no smoke because he's a detective. He's trying to get it together, live his best life, but he keeps having these dreams and he doesn't understand like what is going on in his mind. And so he's given this number. He walks into this place and he meets Paprika. So like he's telling Paprika about his dreams, and like they basically go on this movie sequence about different frames of his dreams. Now I'm not going to tell you, go watch them if you want to see all the dreams for yourself, but there is one looping dream that keeps happening, and it's him firing off some pew pew pews at another person, and they end up on the hallway floor, and he can't understand who it is he's chasing, who it is that was shot. Like there's just so much chaos in it, he doesn't understand it. So he wants Paprika to help him out, with his dreams, to see if she can find something that's happening in his mind. So at the end of this first meeting with Paprika, he's like, can I see you again? She gives him this card and she leaves, right? They wake up. It's a new day. So he ends up going to work. Konakawa does. We're still talking about Konakawa, friends. He goes to work. And so when he gets to work, he's like bored, twiddling his thumbs, and he sees this little card that was given to him by Paprika. So he takes the card and he types in this like web address. Hint, well, not hint, but web addresses is what we were dealing with in freaking Perfect Blue. But yes, we are back with the web theme even here. And so when he types in the web address, he's taken to like this virtual reality state, but he's not asleep in the sense of like laying his head down on a pillow. He's still at his desk, yet he's also wrapped up in this virtual world. So they have found a way to basically conform realities and dreams to be one and the same, even while you're awake, which is crazy, right? And so after this happens, Dr. Inui, I guess, has gotten word about what happened with the DC Mini, because by the time that Dr. Chiba has come back onto the grounds, her work grounds, I want to say, or like the building where she's working at, when she goes back to the hospital where she works, or the office, there are two other patients who are kind of like looped out and just saying ridiculous stuff that do not amount to a hill of beans. And so Dr. Inui is like, kill it with fire. Like there's gonna be, and so Chiba's like, well, you have to have a board meeting. And Inui's like, we're not going to be able to have a board meeting because the culprit, the bad guy who is in control of DC Mini, is like not going to care about a board meeting. Like that is why he stole this, so he can have absolute control and use it in the wrong hands. And this guy Inui is like, science is just trash before an idea. And I'm like, okay, but you are like the head of these people, like you are the chairman. So why are you riding them so hard to do a job that like you wanted them to do? Like, okay, it's one of those basic things where scientists, they get power, they get their hands on the wrong thing, and like they exploit it. This has been happening since the dawn of time. I don't understand why this man was giving smoke to these people. So now enter into a chat a Mr. Dr. Morio Osanai. This guy, he seems so sugary sweet when we first meet him. He's understanding, he's listening to Paprika and trying to find out what happened and, get all his ducks in a row. And so, now the DC Mini is classified as basically prohibited because Inui has shut down everything. But Paprika, or Dr. Chiba, Dr. Miss Chiba, she still wants to find out like who attacked Shima and why they attacked Shima. Now they are assuming that it's Himuro because one of the China dolls looks like him, and so because that was showing in Shima's dreams, they are all assuming that Himuro did this out of spite. So Chiba notices this little, it would look like a monkey action figure that she had recognized from this carnival, from this abandoned shutdown carnival. So her, Chiba, Tokita, and Osanai, they're all sitting down having lunch, right? And I'm talking about Tokita is knocking it back. I mean, this boy got the udon, he got steak and potatoes, okay? He done got gravy, all right? Like a whole gravy. I mean, he is just knocking it back. And I'm sitting here like, dang, can I jump in this reality and eat with you? Like, is you gonna hold some udon for me or nah? Like, is you gonna let me be fed or nah? I'm just saying, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to eat too. That food looked bomb. And I mean, every time the waitress came, she was like, who had this? And his hand went up. And I was like, listen, if you got money to spend like that on some food, count me in. But anyways. Chiba even goes on to tell this dude, like, you're overeating. Stop eating. And he's like, I can't fight on an empty stomach, lady. Right on, Tokita. No, we cannot, but get it together. So they get to this freaking amusement park, right? And they're looking around. They're looking around for clues to see what's going on. And they've already investigated another house. And let me just say, that went completely left. And Dr. Chiba, she should have thanked Osanai a lot because homeboy had her front and her back. But we'll get into why he does in a moment. So anywho's, they are looking around and they're trying to find information about, you know, this amusement park and this place and stuff. And so when they end up seeing a different part of the amusement park, it was like they confirmed it was Himuro. Now, Tokita brings up the fact that Himuro was jealous of him, so that's why he did it. But Chiba is like, but what if he was not, you know, as cold-hearted as you think? What if he was a victim too? Because this doesn't make sense for him to steal this machine just out of retribution. Like, when we all helped play a big part of it, and he was just as much as a genius as you. Like, he understood what this was benefiting. So, anywho's, that is what is taking place. Okay, so the dream, I mean, not the dream, but it carries on. Now there's one part where Shima and Konakawa, they're walking together talking. Now Konakawa has came to make the discovery that Chiba is Paprika. Like, he knows this for a fact. And Konakawa and Shima, they went to school together, college together, so they are old acquaintances. Now they're just talking about life. And so not Tokita, but Shima says something to the effects of Tokita is like a big kid at heart, like he's a kid trapped in like a grown man's body. Here comes freaking Inui over here talking about well, that's why we are adults, to steer children. And I'm like, why are you hiding in the bushes, first of all, just eavesdropping on these people? Like, what gives you the right to sit here and try to make it seem like you're just this great guy? Ooh, he bothers me. So, at one point, Chiba and Tokita get into it, right? Because Chiba is convinced the only way to get to the bottom of everything that's happening, right? And to help Himuro out, because Himuro, he was like knocked out. Like, when they found him and finally got him, he was just sleeping. He wasn't waking up. Like, the machine wasn't showing his dreams, none of that. So Tokita gets the idea that he is going to build another like prototype and basically conform with confer with Himuro to see what it is that happened. So Chiba is telling Osanai like they, have to build another machine and they have to do all this and that. So Chiba and Tokita are on the same accord, but not together, like separately for their own selfish gains, I guess, because one wants to right the wrong in his own way, but he's just a little off his rocker. So Chiba confronts Tokita because Osanai is like, well, what if Tokita does not like take responsibility, because of what if he doesn't take responsibility? I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my words out, friends. So let me slow down and get it together. Chiba's like, well, if he does not take responsibility, then basically he's SOL, because he's gonna have to take responsibility and grow up sometimes and put his big boy panties on, because nobody else can build this machine but him, because he is the genius of our country. So she walks into the room with Tokita. Tokita is busy trying to make another part. She is like, hello, what are you doing? You need to get it together. Her and Tokita go back and forth. Tokita is trying to get Chiba to understand that there is nothing greater for him to do right now than to build this prototype. And it's like it's really like this little hairpiece clamp. It kind of looked like it got like little butterfly robot fingers. You kind of like just put it on your head and it clamps down on your head. I don't know. It looks a little scary, but he's working on that so he could get into the dreams. Chiba goes off on him and she says how he's fat and he's lazy and he don't do nothing but eat and he's just a mad scientist and he's a big kid and like he needs to grow up sometimes, and if he's not gonna get it together like the rest of the class, then he needs to just go back to his CM because that's what he's good for. And I'm like, okay, that's a bit harsh. Like even for me, Miss Chiba, that's very low. And if you want to know what CM is, you just gonna have to go and watch the movie, because I don't know how to give it to you in other terms that are suitable for all ages who may be listening right now. Also, let me warn that this movie is very much R-rated. It is very much R-rated. Not a lot goes down, but language is very questionable, and there are a few scenes that do go down. So I'm going to heavily warn and spoil you that there are some suggestive themes and some things that may trigger you a little bit if you are not careful. So please just be careful and don't watch it if you're underage. Anywho's going on. After she has laid into Tokita, he's like, I don't understand all this adult stuff about responsibility and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, that's kind of sad that you don't really understand that, because you are literally a genius. And like, you're a psychotherapy genius. Like, how do you not understand adulthood? But he does not stand adulthood. So he's like, all that jazz y'all are talking about and speaking about, that's not for me. Like, I'm not an adult, I'm still a kid. He goes to sleep. He decides that it's good for him to go in Himura's dream. Himura, the one that they think is the one who stole the DC Mini prototype. He is gonna go there and talk to his friend. Wicked. It's a trap. Long story short, it is a trap. And the culprit was like, you're a moth to the flame. And I'm like, dang, I'm Tokita. Like, oh, it's rough for him. So now he is out. He is out like a light. Okay. Chiba had ran off after Shima. Okay. And they went to go see the aftermath. I think this is when they went to go see the other patients running around who were just like completely crazy. So now we have two people down. Himuro, he is down, and Tokita is down. Chiba is like, no, like we have to get involved in these dreams because this is the only way. Now, while this is happening, Konakawa is out here catching it, right? He is catching it harshly. Konakawa ends up going off the deep end, and it's like kind of, I feel like he had like a mini stroke or something. So Shima calls Chiba and is like, I need you. I'm counting on you to help me. No, that's why they ran out the room. I redacted, friends. They ran out the room because Konakawa over here has kind of had a stroke attack, right? And like he's losing it in his subconscious, and Paprika needs to help him. So Paprika has went back to help him and to see what it is about his dream. He hates the 17th floor, and she's trying to figure out what it is about the 17th floor that he hates, right? So after all this is going down and taking place, it jumps back to Konakawa ends up waking up. We're gonna put it like that. So now Chiba is back, and she has went into the land of the dreams. And so Shima is now watching over Tokita and is like, I will wake you up if anything gets too bad. Because now she wants to go and Chiba wants to go save Tokita and Himuro. So she gets in a dream, right? She's shifting into a lot of things. Well, y'all, guess who pops up in the dream? Inui and Osanai are there. They are there, and they have trapped this girl in a dream. And quite literally, in one of the scenes, she gets pinned down, and she has these butterfly wings and these pins all around the bed. And she's asking Osanai, like, oh, are you, like, you're just jealous? Like, what's going on? So, y'all, Osanai set up Himuro because he was jealous of basically Himuro and Tokita. It gets worse. The chairman has taken the DC Mini, right? And he is using the DC Mini to try to be one with all these dreams and with all consciousness. He wants to merge life together with dreams and, basically correct all imperfections and get out of his wheelchair. Anywho's, Osanai is sitting here telling Paprika, like, don't make me be rough with you, baby girl, because I really want to give you all of my business. And Paprika's like, you are nothing to me. But Osanai's like, you're everything to me. Cues Monica. Anywho's going on. Y'all, the part that like sent me to the moon was Osanai proceeds to tell this girl, I don't know why you dress like a woman. I like you the way you are. And I'm like, she's a woman. That's what? Y'all, he takes his hand down and he places it in a very interesting place. But instead of it going left like I thought it would go left, he does something to her. Let me just put it like this, because I want you to be shocked when you watched it. What he did to her, to me, was a little bit more violating than what they hinted that he was gonna do to her, which I am still struggling to wrap my mind about. But I think it was the way it went down and the level of depth where I realized what it really meant for him to do that to her. I was just like, this moment right here in the movie, I don't think even Perfect Blue itself could not top this. Anywho's, Konakawa is watching this go down because Konakawa is also dreaming, right? Konakawa bursts through this movie screen and basically he has to save Chiba because she's no longer Paprika. Yes, keep up with me. She is Chiba. And freaking Inui is trying to take her out because he's calling her a dream terrorist, as if he's not the same. But he's trying to kill her, and Osanai's like, you can't kill her because I love her. And so he's like, is your flesh that strong, Satan? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get it together. Let me calm down. So after they get into it, right, they're still beefing about if she's gonna live or die. But Konakawa has saved her. So Konakawa is also able to confront the number 17, right? And he ends the movie and he ends it well. They think they've all woken up. Well, Because Konakawa has had the victory, something happens to Osanai. Something very satisfying has happened to Osanai. But because of this, Inui is like, you cannot do what you want to do because that's my body. And I'm like, excuse me? So Inui goes after Osanai and basically just starts turning up stuff that I don't know if anybody, okay. If you've seen Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 and Sakuna is up here like being him, you know, after he got through having his fun, how that city looked, that's kind of how this scene went down. And see, I'm trying to walk around and dance around this lightly because if you haven't seen season 2, then you don't really know what I'm talking about until you go and see it for yourself. Anywho's, so what is her name? Paprika is literally getting into it with Chiba. Like they are at a crossroads in this dreamlike state because Paprika wants to do one thing, but Chiba realizes she wants to do another thing. And Chiba's like, you need to obey me. And Paprika's like, how do you know that it's not you that needs to obey me? So that they're having a moment, right? And they split up and go their separate ways. But then Chiba ends up dreaming about the moment she met Tokita. Now, this, I'm gonna explain this scene, what I think, because it confused me when I watched it, and I don't want you to be confused. There's a part where Atsuko, she is looking at Chiba. She's looking at Tokita, and he's like, I'm in a bind. I need help. When we first see this, he's in the elevator and they are insinuating because he has like body weight, he can't get out. So Chiba is trying to pull him out and he's like, no, that is not what I mean. I'm in a bind. So it is revealed in this dream, like, so I took from that, it is one of those things where like in reality, they had actually met in that dream. Does that make sense? Like that moment between them was a dream that they had, which was a connection, but it was happening in a dream, but to us it looked like it was happening like, you know, day to day, humanly. Work with me. I'm trying to give it to you. I hope I cleared that up for somebody. If I confuse you more and you're like, excuse me, disregard all of that, because for me it helped. So anyways, she's dreaming now. She has fallen asleep. So Paprika is the one who ends up saving the day, right? She ends up she eats up Inui's dreams because yeah, she was ridding the world of his darkness that he was polluting on the earth. So who was helping Konakawa was helping, and also these two bartenders named Mr. Kuga and Janai. Now they never go into great depths about Janai and Mr. Kuga, so I don't know if these guys were like other doctors or other police detectives, but they came in clutch with Konakawa, all right? And they were helping him like see reason and get it together. So anyways, the movie is coming to a close, right? They have woken up. So Konakawa goes back to see Shima. Now, this is a part that also kind of confused me too, so maybe somebody needs to help me understand this part. But in the end of the dream sequence, movie sequence, Chiba ends up kissing Konakawa, but when she woke up, she was really kissing Shima. But so, because Konakawa was supposed to be taking her to his dream. So I don't understand how they were in his dream, but then I guess Shima was dreaming about kissing her. I don't know. So if somebody can help clarify that up for me, that'd be great. Because that was the only part I didn't understand. I was like, I don't know whose dream we're in. But she slapped the mess out of Shima, okay? But I mean, he thought it was a worthy kiss. So anyways, Konakawa and Shima are talking. And Shima's like, I got dumped. And so Konakawa's like, okay, but she was a girl in your dreams. Like, you do realize that, right? And he's like, yeah, but eventually, like, I'll dream about her again, right? So Konakawa goes his merry way. He ends up going back to like the meeting spot online on web. So they give him this letter from Atsuko, aka Paprika. She congratulated him, on a victory that he gotten, as well as announced that her last name would be changed from Atsuko to Tokita. So Chiba has messed around and married up to Mr. Tokita, y'all, and I was screaming. Now listen. I'm talking about she was laying in on him, calling him fat, a slob, lazy. Like, even when they were in the dream, she was telling him, like, all you do is eat. And he was like, yeah, I know. That's all I'm good for is eating. And she was like, yeah, you're amazing. And I'm like, my heart is a singing. Anywho's, the only reason I don't understand this is because they were saying he was like a kid in a big man's body. So I'm sitting here like, do you like his innocence then? Is that what you were falling in love with? I don't know. It was just, to me, it was really weird how they ended up putting them two together. But I also love it because opposites attract. And maybe he was just a grown man who lived like kid-like, childlike, because he was a mad scientist and he wanted to play with everything. But I'm also sitting here like, if you don't want like responsibilities, then why are you getting married? I don't know. Once again, I don't know. But what I took away from this movie was people can dream dangerous dreams. And if you are not careful, and if you think that your dream is like the most beneficial dreams over other people, you can harm them by trying to push your dream out while killing other people's dreams. And that's very scary, that to think that like people are like that, or that people want to control your mind and your destiny. It's a very, to me, Paprika was like a very animated version of things that could actually happen and go wrong, especially because it seems like people are always trying to merge fake reality with real reality, which is also a scary thing that I don't feel like the world realizes yet. Anywho's, Paprika was a good movie. I definitely think you should go watch it. Honestly, I'd say I give Paprika an 8 out of a 10. It was a good movie. I really loved it. It did not confuse me as much as Perfect Blue, but it still confused me, okay? And it still had moments where I wanted to rage out because Inui's like, I'm the guardian of dreams. And I'm like, you're lying to me? Like, y'all are literally lying to me. But you know what? The plot twists were hitting, and there are some scenes that I left out that, y'all can go and be like, with me, because yes, I'm doing it in spirit with you. But yes, you guys, that is my review. I really hope that you did enjoy this chaotic review of Paprika. If you did, please kiss me with the like button. Please comment any anime you'd like to see, any manga you'd like for me to read, anything you'd like for me to watch, any looks you'd like for me to take on. You can always find my edits on my TikTok and my YouTube at DohiSama. Please always do remember that the Lord does love and bless you. May He keep you. I love you, and I hope wherever you are, you're having an incredible day or an amazing night. Goodbye, guys.